Hello, everyone, and welcome to United Way. Live United. I'm Terry Westerfield, and joining me today, I am so proud to have in friends from ARC of Greater New Orleans. I want to welcome to the program Nicole Blair, who is the director of ARC Enterprises of GNO. Hi, Nicole.
Hi there, Terry. Thanks for having us.
Oh, I'm glad. And you've brought a great group of people. You've got with you Tom Barnes, who is the director of Employment Services, and Tom also individual options at ARC, correct?
That's correct, Terry. Thanks a lot for having us.
Hey, I'm glad you're here. Valerie, good to see you again. Valerie Santamont, who is the Associate Director of Individual Options. And let's get this right. It's a long title now. The Managing Director of Interact NOLA Theater Company. Did I get that right?
That's perfect. Thanks. Glad to be here.
Because that's setting me up for Jennifer, because Jennifer Pagan is joining us too. She's with ARC GNO and the Interact NOLA Theater Company Artistic Director.
Yes,
Did I nail
correct.
it?
You nailed it.
All
Merci
right.
beaucoup.
This is, I tell you what, you are such a great group of people, and what you do for the community is just so, it's heartwarming for your clients, but you provide so many necessary services to them and also benefits to this community. ARC of Greater New Orleans is one of United Way of Southeast Louisiana's community impact partners or partner agencies. And those of you who are tuned in today, I want you to know that I think it's, 61 or 62 years now that ARC has been celebrating its service to the community, and it's committed to securing for all people with intellectual disabilities, delays from birth through adulthood, the opportunity to develop, function, and live to the fullest potential. And you folks serve a number of people. Nicole, you've got, 4 or 5 parishes that you're taking in?
Yes, we actually, we've got St. Bernard, and then Orleans Parish, Jefferson Parish, and now we're going across the lake. Is that St. Tammany, Tom?
Yes, St.
St.
Tammany,
Yeah.
and we may serve some people from Washington Parish, the Florida parishes.
Right, we have a
in
few.
general.
We have a few down in Plaquemines.
Well, now this is interesting, okay, because Nicole, Tom, whoever wants to jump in here, but we've often, we think of ARC, and it is, here's the name GNO, where there's a Greater New Orleans area, other parishes other than just Orleans. But St. Tammany, you have, this is something new for you, and others are there, and now you're working, how?
Yeah, well,
Explain.
I think since the last time that we were here, at that time it was sort of a concept. We were speaking to families and community leaders in Covington, in the general Covington Mandeville corridor. Since then, we have purchased a building and are in the process of renovating, which is, as usual, taking a little bit longer than we expected. But we want to get it right. We want to make it look new and fresh for our new participants from the North Shore to come. That building's at 430 North Jefferson, and actually, as a side street, that's East 25th Street. Our door is on 106 East 25th Street. And we do have a 985 number where I can be reached. It's 985-727-8168. So
Whoa. Let's slow down right now, Tom, because somewhere someone's listening to this. Wait a minute.
Well, go over it
I need
again.
to get that pen
Sure.
and paper. So let's say that again.
Okay.
The News Center in St. Tammany.
Let's say 430 North Jefferson, and you'll find
Okay.
you'll find the other entrance if you get there.
And that phone number
is 985-727-8168. And at the present time, we are, hopefully as of today, we have a person who will be our program coordinator, who will be the lead person over there. And so I'm encouraging families to go ahead and get in touch with me at that 985 number to get the process started for these individuals. We'll be providing services during the day, basically from 8:30 to 3 o'clock. There will be transportation provided in the general St. Tammany area. We'll have to look at each individual on an individual basis to make sure that we can provide that service. But we're excited about going over there. The families, the community leaders that we've interacted with already have been just really accepting of us and really interested and are ready for us to provide some services over there. As the population has shifted and there's more people over there, there is a need for more services. There are people without services over there, so there are people that are anxious for us to get open, as well as I am, and to get started and start to impact some of the individuals with intellectual disabilities.
Okay, now, Tom, I have to ask a little bit of the tough question.
Sure,
And
sorry.
it is, because we do have other partner agencies, United Way, with TARC, which is Tangipahoa, and then STARC, which has been in St. Tammany. Now, how will this work? Does this collectively make you stronger, or you're positioning yourselves that you're offering different services
Really-
to reach a greater variety of people?
We all offer different services. We have, developed and sort of designed our services to mainly look at volunteerism for the individuals and really a focus on fitness activities, and that's a little different than what's being offered over there. We are offering some employment services, but mainly out of the building on Jefferson Street will be a community center for people to come and then to go from there and volunteer at other nonprofits, other United Way agencies to give back to the community over there, and also for people to participate in fitness activities. And there's lots of opportunities on the North Shore that we've already been looking into for those fitness activities. So it's different. And as the population has grown over there, there are some people that were not able to get services. So we decided that it would be in our best interest and in their best interest to open over there and to provide a service.
Well, I know that the ARC is, as many agencies have, you've adapted to the needs of the people, the clientele, and you go where the people are because that's where the services are needed. I harken back, wow, it's hard to believe, 9 years now, going to be in Katrina, and all the things that you changed and how you adapted then, and the child care centers and some of the other things that you've done. So it's great to know that, again, this is an agency that you can see who's there for the benefit of individuals and the community as a whole.
Exactly. And we have the support of many community leaders, and, of course, the families over there are the most important people that are guiding us in what we can do best to serve the people from the North Shore.
Whether it's on the North Shore or it's on LeBar here or in Jefferson or somewhere else, there are so many things that you're trying to do for the community. And folks, we all work together as nonprofits, but we can't do it without you who are listening today and who support us. And you can do that through a number of ways, through payroll deduction and United Way campaigns, through designation to ARC. And of course, we all put the fun in fundraising. I had to get that in there. I'm seeing a bit of a smile from Jennifer, almost. Valerie, a little bit. We're going to come back to some other services and programs because I know Nicole has a lot to talk about there, but let's just take a brief break. Valerie, Jennifer, let's weigh in because it was just about a year ago or so, and there have been a couple different plays or I don't know if you could call them really plays. It's more than that, isn't it?
Oh, they're original musical theater productions, and they are quite the entertainment properties. We get standing ovations from people. Our audiences are 100 plus, and the actors are very, very professional. Last year, we traveled to 5 different theaters, and every single week was like a new tech week. And each theater was different, had a different layout, and they just hit the ground running. And they're probably the best actors I've ever worked with. Much more professional in many ways than professional actors that are typical actors. They're brilliant. And our new show coming up is called The Nutria Blues, an original musical adaptation of the Pied Piper of Nouvelle-Orléans. And
now that is great. If I like the Nutria Blues.
The Nutria Blues. The whole Crescent City has the Nutria Blues. They have
particularly parts of Kenner. No, all right, go ahead.
Well, that comes into play also because they're going to Canberra.
They do go to Canberra.
So we've sort of taken that story and localized it, and we talk about the history of the Nutria coming here from Argentina. They do a tango. They talk about, that people want them out, so they're going to go to New Orleans and settle down and get real jobs and go to Mardi Gras. And we have a corrupt mayor. and the citizens are being terrorized by the nutria. They've eaten the wetlands. Les Miles, one of the actors, loves LSU, so we made him create a character based on Les Miles. And so he's telling him, don't you let those nutria come to my stadium in Baton Rouge. So we kind of cover the gamut. And we've got a wonderful musical director, Jeremy Fitz, who's a local trombonist and singer-songwriter with the music group St. Bell. We have a fella in town this week, Aaron Gabriel, from the Interact Minneapolis Theater Company, and he is just an incredible composer, and he has performed all over, and they have been to Thailand recently with Interact in Thailand. So this is a very far-reaching, we're doing something very progressive here, and they do it in Minneapolis, we do it here, they do it in Thailand.
It's amazing.
It is amazing. And
Africa as well.
So we are definitely trend-setting here.
I was going to say, you are creating a model that can be used, obviously, worldwide, that others well, let's talk a little. Let's go back to the beginning. All right, you've covered what's now, and we've got to say the date, too, because that's coming up on July 24th.
Well, that's actually our fundraiser.
The fundraiser? Okay.
Which Valerie's going to talk about.
All right, that's where sorry, everybody out there who I'm confusing, because that's what I was trying to get out. So we've got Nutria Blues. It's coming. But Valerie, take it away. It's the biggest fundraiser of the year that you do, right?
It is, and it's a major event, and it's one that we completely depend upon our community for, and actually have gotten quite a number of sponsorships this year. And you want to be on Thursday, July 24th at Southport Hall at 200 Monticello Avenue in Jefferson, and that's right on the river by the Snow Wizard. I like to think a lot of New Orleans know where that is.
It's over by the Bachelor, and
that's the way it is.
Right down the street from the River Shack.
Yeah, right down from the River Shack. So Thursday, July 24th, 7 till 11. And who we're going to be featuring there, our entertainment for the night is Johnny J and the Hitmen, social set from New Orleans with Catherine Rose and Margie Perez and her Funky Boy Band. And in between all of those wonderful talents, we're going to have the Muffaladas dancing.
I know a few of those ladies, yes.
And, well, they're going to be there. So if you want to see those Muffaladas dance, you need to be there. And then a very special treat is in between one of the band breaks, the Interactors will be performing two of the numbers from the show Nutria Blues. Oh. So it's going to be jam-packed. We've got food from Sandro's, from Hobnobbers, etc., Martin's Wine Cellar, and we've gotten the backing of Shell and Iberia, the Zaney family, and the Autism Society for sponsorships. The whole event's going to be emceed by a local hoot called MC Tracheotomy. So you'll need to see him move us through this evening. And of all of this stuff that I just mentioned is available to you for the mere price of $20. $20 for a night jammed packed with awesome entertainment.
It's cheaper than going to a movie.
And you get a free beer ticket.
And there's
on top
raffle prizes, and
there's a silent auction,
Wow.
we've got just awesome gifts that you can bid on. There's raffle items that you will be able to win. Right. There will be 3 painters, New Orleans artists, who will be painting live. And got one guy, Hank Holland, who got his stuff even in the Vatican. He is a folk artist from Lockport, Louisiana.
Well, we like the Lockport.
I bet they got some nutria down there.
Well, the nutria start eating up in Lockport, and then they go to Raceland, then they go to Kennebra, then they hit the Bonneville Avenue, and then they come to the French Quarters.
So we got Hank Holland, who is just an amazing artist, and Roger Ariane, who is a young artist from Metairie, and then Skip Nola, who is a local well-known street artist here in New Orleans. Did a little work with parolees and pit bulls and parolees, so we'll have all of those guys painting live for a special raffle. The raffle tickets will be $20, and there'll be 3 amazing pieces that could be won that night. So where do y'all want to be on Thursday, July 24th?
Southport Hall.
Southport Hall.
Southport Hall.
And you need to wear you're bright and tight, because
Ooh.
once again we're going
Explain,
neon.
explain.
It's bright and tight tonight. It was so much fun last year that we've repeated it and made it a 2, and it's a glowing affair to benefit Interact NOLA. So we encourage you to wear your hot colors.
And something tight.
And
it must be
something
bright
tight.
and it must be tight.
And it can be as bright and tight as you like.
Is neon optional? I mean, I'm just saying. I have some
It
friends
is- it is very
who are
optional.
performance artists, I can just imagine. But this is wonderful because, again, you're engaging the whole community. You're benefiting ARC. And Jennifer, let's flip back to you for a little bit, because when you're talking about your interactors, this is just, I know you've shared before with me the stories and how these folks are just, we actually had one of the interactors on once before, and Margie, I have to mention Margie again, because shout out to you, Miss Margie Perez, who works at ARC, who is a friend of ours, amazing voice, who I know many of you probably heard at Jazz Fest and clubs around town. So you've really got a lot of people who really, really love their jobs and their community.
Yes, and the actors love what they're doing, and they have grown in leaps and bounds since last year. I mean, they're creating their own characters. They're doing all this great improv. A lot of their inhibitions that they had about being on stage have just disappeared. We have them dancing. I've got choreography in the show where they're throwing chairs in the air, catching them, flipping them, and jumping into them. We're still working on that number, but it's going to be good. We have a month to get that together. But every time,
Hopefully our insurance agent isn't listening.
Oh, it's not that big. It's not that big. of a deal. So it's all safe. It's all equity rules. But we've got probably about 9 or 10 songs, which is like 3 or 4 more songs than we had last year, and it's just so much fun to work with them because we're engaging them in talking to their families about politics, about the wetlands. That'll be their homework assignment. They'll go home and they come back and they report back to me what kind of conversation they had. We have one fellow we've deemed as our method actor. When he takes on a character, he takes that character on, and it's like working with Daniel Day-Lewis. I have to tell you. So, but he's playing the intrepid, bumbling reporter, Mickey LeBlanc.
Oh.
And it's just, the show is a whole lot of fun. We've got, I think, about 37 Interact actors, and we've engaged some of the other people in the art community to come in and perform with us. And so we probably will have about 45 people when it's all said and done. And it's going to be a wicked good time.
I wish sometimes that, dare I say it, we were on video or being broadcast, because if you could see the smiles right now, everybody who is in this room just kind of grinning from ear to ear. Jennifer, you're glowing talking about this. And it is such a wonderful place. I was just over at the ARC last week, and you go in there and you're just, I don't know, something comes over again, the clients, but the people who work there, the warmth, the excitement, and the fact that everybody feels good, everybody is learning, everybody, I feel good. They feel good about themselves. And I think that is so important because it's built this kind of character. And what I see is they're not afraid, as you've mentioned, that I'm thinking of Ralph and some of the others. I'm thinking those who have worked in the kitchen at Vintage. We'll talk about some of those, but everybody wants to feel good about themselves and know that they can accomplish things. And that's what I see happening, and I think that is just marvelous whenever I go there.
And they're learning to work together, which is really nice. And it's very wonderful to see them encourage one another. And I think when typical actors come in and work with us, I think that they have a lot to learn of how to be supportive of one another instead of it being so cutthroat and whining and complaining. Oh, this actor didn't say their line, or they didn't say this. They're so supportive of one another. And we're doing a can number in this to pay sort of an homage to the corporate rats in Le Petit de Vieux Carré. It will be the last show at Le Vieux Carré because not only are there rats in the river eating the wetlands, but there are rats in the government and in city business. So we're pushing all these really great envelopes, and people are really going to like this show. They're going to laugh. They're going to cry. And we're paying homage to the great city of New Orleans. And we've got some Mardi Gras Indians and that saved the day. And it's a really fun celebration of our culture, but also telling a tale a traditional tale.
No
and
pun intended, since you were just talking about the no.
exactly.
Right.
Wah, wah, wah.
But again, this, and you've got to come to this fundraiser. Valerie, let them know one more time. It is
Thursday, July the 24th from 7 to 11 at Southport Hall, 200 Monticello Avenue in Jefferson.
And all of the proceeds are going to help our production of the Nutria Blues, which is opening on August 30th.
August 30th. And it's only $20, folks. Only $20. I don't know we're going to get that much of a jam-packed event and all the fun things. We're going to come back and talk a little bit more about that, Valerie and Jennifer. Thank you. But Nicole, you've been quiet
You have a
for
tough act to
far too
follow,
long.
Nicole.
Yeah, no kidding. Wow.
But let's talk about
Come on,
all
do-
the other
do your
things.
best,
Come
though.
on, all the other things that are
Appreciate
going
that.
on at the Arc too. Because as I said, I was over there the other day, and it's always great. I mean, I saw Marge and everybody in, and they had the beads, and I know you've got the kitchen, and then you're at downtown, and if you're going to get soup or lunch anywhere, folks, that's where you need to be.
Place
Let's
St.
talk-
Charles,
Oh,
yep.
let's talk about some of these great things.
Yes, so we are, I'll talk about Vintage Garden Kitchen first. We've got
Yes.
a downtown location at 201 St. Charles at Place St. Charles. We're in the food court on the second floor, and we have a very healthy menu. It's a tough gig to try to find a healthy meal quickly anywhere frankly, just about anywhere except maybe California, maybe New York. But here in South Louisiana, we don't like to make it healthy that much. So we did our best to come up with some terrific recipes that certainly are not skimping on taste, but that really do bring in a lot of very healthy foods and turn them into these flavorful dishes that are very savory and very addicting, actually. when we started talking about the concept, I asked our executive chef, Leo Tandecki, I said, what I want to see is dressings that are addictive, because a lot of what we do is salads and wraps and things like that. And so I said, let's go for the healthy but addictive sort of flavors in things, because that's what brings people back, and he's done a great job at that. I mean, some of the salads that we serve that people absolutely love and never stop coming back for. We have a kale slaw, with ginger cider vinaigrette, and it's absolutely delicious. And people, at first it was a slow burn. People came onto that pretty slowly, but now it is absolutely our best seller. We have a quinoa salad, and everything that we have can be served in salad wraps or bowls, so you can get it over quinoa, over pasta, over rice. If you don't want the wrap and you're wanting a little bit more than a salad. We also serve artisan breads, and we make gluten-free corn muffins for lunch. We make our own homemade sodas, which is really nice, and great herbal teas and black teas that we make ourselves. And so, if you're looking for something quickly but would like to stay healthy, that would be what I would recommend is hitting our Vintage Garden Kitchen on the second floor at Place St. Charles, 201 St. Charles Avenue.
I tell you what, I'm a fan of the soup. Is it the tortilla soup that
we have a chicken tortilla and a
Yes.
veggie tortilla. We have
Yes.
22 different homemade soups that we make from scratch, and everything
fabulous.
we really don't use preservatives, and so everything is made fresh, and then we jar it in hot jars, in hot filled jars, mason jars, and we recycle those. So if you bring back 9 jars, you get a free pint of soup.
Wow.
So.
It's a great way to do it. And
It is.
I tell you what, I'm one of those people, I eat soup year-round, so it doesn't matter. That's a little warm outside. Tell you what, when I know that chicken tortilla is on the menu, I'm ready.
Well, you know how it is. Almost everybody's house is actually freezing cold because
Yes.
we're all combating. I don't know about you, but I wake up with frost on my windows. So I'm never feeling, I'm never feeling the summer inside at my house.
It's time to warm up and let's get some good soup.
Yeah, so I actually eat soup also at home. We have something else that we're actually working on, sort of growing our Mardi Gras business. We keep selling out of Mardi Gras throws every year. We sold about 150,000 pounds of Mardi Gras beads last year, and that was really exciting. We take in donations from the community, and then we repackage, recycle, and resell, and that provides jobs to the people that we support with intellectual and developmental disabilities, and everybody makes minimum wage or higher. And so we're actually working on expanding that business and trying to find ways for us to process, to collect and process more beads so that we can grow that business, because it's certainly
the airport.
Well, tell me about it. I'm actually talking to the airport about something very interesting right now, and they actually buy beads from us already. They do once a month. They do a special welcoming on a certain day a month, and then everybody that comes across the gate into the concourse gets free beads, and so they get welcomed.
Kind of like we give beads in Hawaii, you get a lei
exactly.
or something.
You get a lei.
So it's kind of fun that we do that.
Right, and so so that's been exciting for us. So we're always looking for volunteers to come in and help sort. We always need more volunteers. So if your organization or your volunteer group is looking for a volunteer project, or if you have students in college that are looking for projects for volunteering, we are very happy to have volunteers both for our Mardi Gras bead recycling business and our farm.
Well, before you go to the farm, let me ask you, because you did just say college students, and that was going to be one of my questions. Is there an age, that appropriate, you have to be, 16, 17, 18 or older? What?
It's 16 and older.
Okay.
However, we're just actually, part of our new plan that we're working on is to bring in weekend groups, which we haven't been doing. So we'll hire somebody part-time to come in and do weekend groups, so that we would be allowed to at times bring in a younger crowd. But we do restrict it, and so it would only be it would only be on the weekends that we would allow that. But it gives people more flexibility also. So if different clubs and organizations are looking for weekend things, most people have regular 8 to 5 jobs, or at least during the week jobs, and so weekends make it a little bit easier for local volunteer groups to commit. We get a lot of volunteers from other places.
That would be a really great Girl Scout badge.
I was going to say.
It would.
I like recycling and green.
It would.
When we were kids, we would get a 2x4 and put nails in it, and we would separate our beads, and then we would give them to our neighbors that rode the floats.
Oh, how fun.
All the kids would get, and we would do that ourselves. So, yeah, that'd be a great Girl Scout badge.
That's actually a good suggestion. We'll have to look into that, especially for a weekend project. They can come in. It would be fun. Yeah.
And schools looking for service projects, too, because this day and age, a lot of them need community service hours before they graduate, and I think it's a wonderful thing that they learn to give back.
I think so, too. I really think so. And I'm seeing that the kids these days, it's kind of like the younger crowd is coming up, and they seem to be a lot more community-minded and a lot more socially conscious than I was when I was a kid. And my peers, we were all just into ridiculous, meaningless stuff. But I do notice that kids these days are coming up, and I've heard that, people are incorporating community effort or community social programs in their wedding party and things like that. Wow. So, the younger kids are starting to have a bit more of a conscience.
We've been very lucky at Interact. We've had, I've engaged some kids from local schools to come in and get their service hours. And they've helped with costumes and backstage and with directing and stage managing. So that's really, really a good thing to tap into.
There's a lot of opportunity at ARC for volunteers.
Mm-hmm. And it's something we have to mention, because United Way has a Mission Ignition program with high schoolers. They're doing a lot of things in service hours in the community. So already, look, just by talking today, we may have something to help each other out.
Yeah.
But Nicole, I want you to go back to the farm for a second, because we are almost out of time. I can't believe how quickly this has gone by. When we all get together, we like to talk.
It's true.
So please mention what's going on with the farm, if that's new and different.
Absolutely. Well, it's just that it's pepper time. Everybody in town is growing peppers and okra and eggplant. But at Vintage Garden Farm, we are doing some interesting peppers that the chefs are really. You'll see them on the menus in some of the best restaurants and most of the restaurants that cater to local produce and local foods. We've got Jimmy Nardello peppers, which is sweet and mild. We've got Trinidads that are milder than a habanero, but with all the flavor. We have these shishitos, which is they are just so delicious. You can grill them up, you can saute them, and they are so fabulous to stir fry. So we also are about to have our Asian long beans coming soon. So we're excited about the summertime, and our farm out in Chalmette is growing, and we've got some new farmers there. Shout out to Josine and Josh, our brand new farmers.
Wonderful.
So
I love the fact that it's going to be utilized, that local chefs, we're all trying to, stay local when we do that every year, and trying to buy more and more produce and things that are raised right here, and that's wonderful that ARC is in on it too. Well, folks, Hard to believe, but we are out of time. This means I have to get a promise that you'll all be back and sometime soon. And one more time, it is coming up. Hit it, Valerie, hit it.
It is Thursday night, July 24th.
And we are talking about, Jennifer, tell us.
The Nutria Blues, an original music adaptation of the Pied Piper of Nouvelle Orleans, opening August 30th at 7:30 p.m. at New JPAS at JPAS
Jefferson Performing Arts
Society
their
over on
theater
Phlox.
on Phlox.
And then the next week will be September 5th at Nunez Community College.
Fabulous. Nicole Blair, Tom Barnes, Valerie Saint-Amand, and Jennifer Pagan, all with ARC of Greater New Orleans. Thanks for joining me today, and let's all come together and say, Live
Live
United.
United.